Hello and welcome to the Poets React. I'm Mark, poet with guitar. I'm from DC, living in DC, and welcome. I'm the chancellor of the Poetry Global Network Academy of Poetry, and I'm proud to introduce my panelists of esteemed poets and performers. And we're going to look at a poem tonight that we've never seen, read, and discuss it in our own kind of unique way. Marrisa, take it away.
Thank you, Mark. So glad to be here at the Poets Reacts with my wonderful, beautiful, esteemed colleagues. Make sure, please, that you use the chat, ask questions, comments, and talk with us. We love hearing from you. We love the feedback. Also, if you plan tonight to draw anything or color or paint anything as we're reading, read along with Kemlyn, please make sure that you post those things in the chat. We love to see your artwork as well. Lawin.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Poets Reacts. I'm Lawin. I'm a writer from Manila, and well, happy to have you all here. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube yet, please do, so you never miss an episode of this. Because there are many things you might miss.
You don't want to miss any of it.
And do like and share the rest, and follow us on the rest of our socials. There's Facebook, there's Instagram. Rumor has it there might be TikTok soon. God save us. Yeah. Kemlyn, hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kemlyn. I'm from Arizona and Singapore. I'm so happy to be here. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, and tonight I'll be painting with you guys. Yay. And without further ado, please send in the poem.
With what stillness at last you appear in the valley, your first sunlight reaching down to touch the tips of a few high leaves that do not stir, as though they had not noticed and did not know you at all. Then the voice of a dove calls from far away in itself, to the hush of the morning. So this is the sound of you, here and now. Whether or not anyone hears it, this is where we have come with our age, our knowledge, such as it is, and our hopes, such as they are, invisible before us, untouched, and still visible.
So I'll do the second reading on this. All right, here we go. With what stillness at last you appear in the valley, your first sunlight reaching down to touch the tips of a few high leaves that do not stir, as though they had not noticed and did not know you at all. Then the voice of a dove calls from far away in itself, to the hush of the morning. So this is the sound of you, here and now, whether or not anyone hears it, this is where we have come with our age, our knowledge such as it is, and our hopes as they are, invisible before us, untouched, and still possible.
This is so fun.
I kind of feel like it screams midlife crisis to me a little.
Not so much crisis, but definitely middle of the road. Definitely that moment where you sort of make out the next horizon. You're not quite sure where you're headed, but you do know where you've come from, and that's the magic of it. And it's
for me, certainly it's a coming of age thing. You know, once you get past a certain age, the finalities start to ring in a very different way. And this poem touches me very much that way. I mean, I recognize there's a certain style. I think it's written by a woman for some reason. It's just,
I don't know.
It feels to me like it's very Mary Oliver-ish, you know, in that kind of sense that she picks up. And I like that sentiment that Anne Sexton writes a lot like, and Oliver and all that. I mean, I enjoy it. It's a poetry. To me, it's getting a little bit past its time. This sound of poetry, this feel of poetry, but it's still, very relevant.
It feels very much like Merwin for me.
Yeah, same generation. He just passed. Yeah, absolutely. Has that kind of language and that kind of sadness. It's an imposed sadness. I can't explain it. As you get older.
Well, no, we're all getting older. Hindsight's 2020, and perspective on things, whether it's choices or family or love or legacy, right? We tend not to think about those things until we're already, so much time has gone by, and
and you saw
there's a little crisis in there, but not hopeless.
Mark, let me ask you this question. Since you are a poet with guitar, if this poem were a chord, just one chord or one note, what would it be?
Sorry, he was not asking me.
I'd say a minor seventh. I guess the only way.
Minor seventh sounds good, because it's still sad, but not minor sad.
Right.
Yeah.
They still give you a little hope at the end.
We've come of age. Our knowledge is such as it is, and our hopes are such as they are. I've come to accept it all, and all that, and that's what
it makes for a gorgeous painting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
the colors.
I love the water.
That's really nice that came out with that. Yeah. That's lovely, Kemlyn.
Thank you. And the poem. I remember watching one of Hayao Miyazaki's anime, Howl's Moving Castle. And there was a scene where Sophie is this elderly woman that has been spelled. She's actually a lovely young lady that has been aged really quickly with a spell. And she makes a remark when she's sitting by a lake for a long time. And she says that she finds herself that when you're older, she doesn't know why, but staring in the lake just becomes something that's comforting and soothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, myself, because the poem is to me does feel, it's about aging and, that kind of moment. And I'm the furthest down the line in the group here. So, sure. I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book called, about baby boomers. The bitchings of an aging baby boomer is the name of it.
I love it. I love that, Mark. I love. I freaking love your titles and concepts for stuff. It is so much fun.
And this is kind of the theme. We kind of hit it from left and hit it from right of this.
I still think it's Merwin. I still think that it has to be.
Yeah, it's a detached feeling that you get as you get older, which just kind of creeps in, just into the atmosphere.
But it's not totally lost yet, because they see all of our hopes as they are invisible before us as untouched and still possible. So it's kind of like you still have time, right? There is still time to make those adjustments, but it's reminding you that you can't wait until the precipice of disappointment.
Yeah.
So you have to take action now in your life. That goes for all of you. Start thinking, what's your legacy? What are you leaving in this life? What are we going to be reading about you that is so special in 10 years or 100 years?
That's what's so special about Zoom poetry.
That's what's so special about our poetry.
Our poetry.
Zoom show. Our YouTube
and all of you
PGN.
Everybody out there in this world, we're all like connecting in this kind of way that was unheard of and unimaginable just, a handful of years ago, yesterday, as it were, here we all are. And so that's some reason, that's the possible.
So are you saying we need a field trip to DC?
Definitely.
No, for right now, the best we could do is see each other in these little squares.
I know.
And so, but that's okay.
When I come to New York, though, you better come see me.
I certainly will. I'll be in Chicago by then, but I'm moving to
Chicago. Yeah.
Which
When
is
are
a
you
poetry
moving
town.
to Chicago?
November, as I'll be moving.
Oh, well,
America's,
that's okay. It gives me a reason to go to Chi-Town. Let's go. Kemlyn, you want to go to Chi-Town?
Oh, I've been,
No,
and I would love
I've never
to go
been
again.
to Chicago. And you know who else is in Chicago? Like Andreas Fleps is in Chicago. There's so many poets up there.
It's the United States Poetry Center.
Let's go.
I don't
Why
think
are
we've
we
seen-
not there?
I don't think we've seen Kemlyn's painting for this one.
No, I didn't. Lawin, you totally missed it.
You missed the sun and the trees with the.
Oh, there you go.
You missed
there
it.
you go.
You
It was
missed it.
beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my favorite lines are the voice of a dove calls from far away in itself to the hush of the morning.
Yeah.
And your first sunlight reaching down to touch the tips of a few high leaves. Yes. And they're invisible before us, untouched and still possible. Yeah.
It's so funny because I just wrote that sunshine sign language poem about sunshine through the leaves and how it's like sign language on your skin.
Yeah.
I love that.
I hate to use the word, but it's existential.
It is
an existential.
Oh my God. And look at that. To the new year, W.S. Merwin, the present company, Fort Townsend, Washington, Copper Canyon Press, 2005.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
That's an excellent poem, isn't it?
There you go. Yeah, hit it right. The same generation, the same. Yeah, and I love Merwin too. Mm-hmm. Merwin's one of my favorite. But Merwin. I bought the collected poems of Merwin. It's like this thick. It's everything he ever wrote, and for me, about a third of it is just beyond belief beautiful. A third of it is average, and a third of it is poor.
Right. Well, that's the whole collection, right?
And you know what? I'm so happy for the third that's just spectacular.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if we need the collection is only for people that just, it's just too much. It's like, 800 poems in there, and all that, everything he ever touched. But I revered him. I grew up with him.
Just as a note to our readers, to our viewers, okay, so you just heard Mark talk about how 1/3 of Merwin's work is awesome and the other third's okay and the other third not that good. There's no pressure, right? The important thing is to write.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
It's schmucks like us who judge and all that.
Yeah, it's not being snobby to say 1/3 of it doesn't reach.
Oh, Lawin's getting Fishbein. Look at he got frozen. It's totally true. You got to understand, right, that we're not talented. We are craftsmen of the craft. We weren't born with an ability to write poetry, but we crafted it. We learned it. We mastered it. We carved it. All the blood, sweat, tears, all the trauma that goes into writing, that you have to do that. And you got to expose yourself to not only people in your time, but people before you, from generations before you, the work, the style, take classes, go online, watch our show, right? Learn things every time. Feed your mind, feed your pen, and you will get there to where you can have an entire collection of poetry. Just know that everyone has great stuff, middle of the road stuff, and not so great stuff, and that's part of the process. There's nothing wrong with that at all, right? Don't think that there's anything wrong with your words. If you would like it fairly and adequately reviewed, find someone in your community who will do that for you. And then when they tell you their opinion, please listen, and then find another person and another person and another person.
And understand,
that's a very important bit.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a solitary artist.
Right.
Yes.
Let's collab.
The vast amount of poets would like to burn their.
Oh my God, Lawin!
From the past.
Let's do a shirt.
Wait, normal.
Wait, Mark, it's leaving me. Let's collab, but the ab should be on your abs. Whoa, let's collab, like the big AB across the abs on the bottom. I'm sorry, Mark. That was just, I was going to lose it. I could tell I was going to lose that lot. So anyways, yes, cute.
Yes, please do not think that you have to suffer in silence like this, that's what a poet does. An artist,
suffer
you
in
suffer in silence.
Just know that we all suffer in silence.
Yeah, I
Part of
suppose so. That's some of that too. But you know what?
Part of
You
the
don't
plan.
have to do it all by yourself, because there are people like us who are schmucks who like to talk about
What year?
poetry shit.
What year did Merwin write the poem? Do you have the date?
Yeah, 2005.
2005.
Yeah, it was
No,
well.
2005 is
That's when it was
No,
print.
that's the
That's when it was
publication,
printed.
yeah.
Anyway.
Oh,
We don't know
printed.
when it was,
I would
yeah, it's
assume
printed.
it would be in his later life. Yeah, in the
I would have
20th
thought it would have been,
century
yeah.
also too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that is our show tonight, everyone. Thank you so very, very much. Remember, please like, share, subscribe, and follow to not just Poetry Global Network, but the Poets Reacts. There are so many amazing shows with so many amazing poets coming up right here at PGN, and some changes, awesome changes happening at the Poets React. So you want to tune in, you want to be involved in what we're doing. Don't miss an episode. Please comment. We love interacting with you. You got questions, comments, anything like that, drop it in the chat. If you're painting right along with our lovely friend Kemlyn, please share your paintings, drawings, sketches, anything that you're experiencing during these times that we're reading our poems, right? And remember, as we react to poems live right here in front of you, whether we're reading them, we're hearing them, we're watching them, we hope you take action with your pen so that someday we might be able to read your poem. Yes! Good night, everybody. Much love, poets.
Good night, all.